Like, hey, we're a big.
Well, I went back in time and I got my hair. Steelers Nation Australia headband. We'll get you some like high socks. Get you some like these shorts.
Hey,
shorts.
you're standing up. Hey, easy.
Yeah.
It's like balls of fairy.
So when JJ52 says, will Ray Gun make the 53? No, she's cut.
If you're not going to take Ray Gun, I know a place in Western Pennsylvania where she'll fit right in. Right at the cookie table at a wedding.
She could be my second string long
Call her
snapper.
Dr. Boogie or Dr. Get Down and tell her she has a PhD. Get down. Like, play the music. You know
what? If she'd had some bling, and looked like LL Cool J and Mama Gonna Knock You Out, she might have won.
Alrighty, Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. And also, welcome back to the Steelers Dynasty podcast. I thought about cancelling this week because there's nothing to talk about, but I thought that I can't talk to Bubba and Shane. What's going on, Shane and Bubba? How are you?
Living.
Going good, Shane?
It's been rainy since last week. It's rained almost every day. So that's about it. It's as far as Steelers news goes, like a lot of folks in Pittsburgh haven't had power. So, they've been celebrating the Amish spring or
what happened with that? It was a big storm, wasn't there, last week or something? Was it?
Tornado or something.
So I saw it blew off the roof of Fiore's, the pizza place. Yeah, but I was thinking, how stable was that roof to begin with anyway?
It looked like hot shit. It looked like it was it was like pumpkin wood, man. It was either going to blow off or fall down.
Yeah. I was just thinking how maybe one of us could have, got a leaf blower out and blow it off. I don't know. It didn't look that stable.
You ever see me with a leaf blower? Oh my God. I have one, but
yeah. So there's not too much going on this week. So I thought we'd just kind of chill out, just relax a bit. I don't know what else to talk about besides Steelers in off-season workouts.
They're getting in shape.
I got a few things. There's still no Aaron Rodgers, which is like,
I'm okay.
By now, surely he's not coming, right?
I heard he got married. Is that true?
Yeah, he was at the Kentucky. He's at the Derby as well. If he can go to the Derby, my theory is, if he can go to the Derby, he can call up Pittsburgh and sign. I think by now, he's not coming.
No, I don't want him.
I think it's the Ayuk stuff all over again. I think by now the Steelers are in their phase 2 off-season workouts, which is like guys turning up doing gym stuff, which is kind of cool. By now, you'd think heading into almost schedule time next week, which would be fun, right? Finding out where we go, what games we play, and stuff like that. He would be with the team. How late can you leave it for a guy to mesh with the team? You know what I mean? How late can you leave it?
The fact that you're not dealing with a rookie, I think he can, learn the playbook pretty quick. It's a matter of, do you want him? Despite the rumors, they say as of 3 days ago, they said that Tomlin and the Steelers are still committed to, thinking about having him like become a Steeler. But at what point do you just say, the hell with it?
Yeah, it's got to be a certain day soon. And I think it's around this time. It has to be like now or never, really. I think soon. Because
I would say probably two more weeks of this craziness, maybe.
Because the more I see like players like turn up, like you see Warren there, you see the offensive line there. I don't know, TJ Watt wasn't there, and Cameron Hayward was over in Dublin, Ireland, and he was doing stuff for his birthday and traveling. And they don't need to be there, those vets. But I would like to see Rodgers there if he had to be. But then I see the bloke there was Mason Rudolph, and all last night, all I watched was Mason Rudolph highlights. And I'm telling you right now, he's not that bad. People think he's that bad.
He'll be 30 years old going into training camp. I just read that. And
I watched the
8-4 with the Steelers.
I watched the game last night, which was the 2023 game. I watched about half of it, and it was the Mason Rudolph versus the Bengals in one of the best games of his career. He was throwing absolute dimes to George Pickens. George Pickens had 195 yards. Mason Rudolph was on fire. So if we are left with that option and he's number one, it won't be that bad of a season. Just depends who's going to be QB2, like who's going to bring in QB2. And right now,
Howard.
they still need to bring in another quarterback as well.
I know, but whoever they get, I think the rookie Will Howard. Everybody is so laminated and like they're in love with him already. Like he hasn't even been here a little over a week. He's been a Steeler.
Yeah. And he was on James says he was on I gotta watch this too. He was on Will Howard and Jack Sawyer was on Ben's show this week. I don't know how Ben works so fast to get these players on. He's trying to get that YouTube algorithm clicking on because the show is boring. We would just Ben and the other boy.
Well, those two were actually guests on our show tonight, and that's why we didn't have anything to talk about because they were supposed to be here.
They canceled on us.
They canceled on us with the Ben.
No, I love Ben, but I find that show really boring with that guest. Like their
I don't like the host, the little squirrely guy.
Hey,
yeah.
Is that the name of the kid? What's the kid's name that helps him out? Is it Matt? Is it Matt also?
Nah, it's Spencer. Spence.
Yeah, Spencer.
Hey, Spence, get your nuts out of my mouth, out of your mouth, so you can answer the next question. Okay.
Yeah, and Jet Devil says here +10 QBR with a goatee equipped. I dead set watched last night because when I saw the offseason workouts, the players turning up, Mason and Rudolph's turning up, right? And I know the rookies haven't turned up yet as well, but Mason Rudolph is the guy at the moment to lead the Steelers at quarterback number one. And I'm thinking, how long can the Steelers wait for A-Rod? Seems like a long time, or it seems like it's not going to happen.
It seems like we've been waiting for him for months, almost half a year now. That's what it seems
I think it's been 3 months.
3 months.
I think it's been about 12, 13 weeks. This whole idea's come around that he's going to sign. He's not going to sign. He's going to wait. He's going to the Derby. He's getting married. He's walking on a beach. It's like, well, then what is the backup plan? Do you think, Bubba? Because they will go to quarter. They need one more quarterback. What's the backup plan for the Steelers to get a quarterback?
I hope they don't try to do something with Atlanta and try to bring in Kirk Cousins. I don't know how they would do that or how they would try to finagle that. I still just like to have Mason and then go get another veteran, maybe Carson Wentz, maybe as a backup, and then have Will Howard. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be quarterbacks out there that we could probably get that we don't have to pay an arm and a leg for, that won't ruin our locker room or cause all this controversy like Aaron Rodgers will.
You're going to make a great point, Shane. The Browns have another quarterback. What's going to happen there if they cut one? They got 5. They have 5 quarterbacks.
They're going to cut one. They're going to cut one within the next month or so. They're not even going to be in the preseason. So who are they going to cut? Are they going to cut the guy they took, in the 3rd round? Are they going to cut Shador, which they took in the 6th round? I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't cut. Would they cut? I think they're going to start Jack Flacco. You know
I
what
agree.
mean?
Flacco,
we don't want Kenny. Do we want Kenny Pickett to come back?
No.
That'd be unreal. Imagine that. Imagine if Kenny Pickett gets cut and he came back to the Steelers to sub behind Mason Rudolph.
Get to. I mean, in some crazy way that could happen.
His girlfriend won't let him do that. I mean, his ego or whatever would not. I mean, that's just like a big kick in a nutsack. There's no way.
I know that it probably won't happen, but that would be funny to see him, Mason Rudolph start, Will Howard number 2, Kenny Pickett number 3.
3rd.
That'd be insane.
He'd be doing all the whole commercials.
Yeah, I don't know, but definitely, I think the Steelers right now. I'm in the position where I'm almost locked into watching all the Mason Rudolph highlights and games, and just the way how he has been on the team for 6 years and didn't get a chance, and he did those. I'm going to watch. Over the next few days, going to watch the Ravens game and Seahawks game in that December run because he played good football. I'm in the mode of he's QB1 and we're just going to find a QB2 or QB3 that's somewhere out in free agent land. You don't know where they're coming from, like Carson Wentz or someone like that, right? Someone who's just going to sign a 1 year contract, because I just think, how long can you wait for A-Rod? I just don't know how long you can wait. It just to me, it's a bit insane. Any other news from your guys aside from like for the Steelers? What's been going on?
Well, coming home from work yesterday, I listened to 93.7 The Fan, which I usually don't do sometimes. I don't.
Why would you do that? Even
I don't know. I don't know. Usually I listen to music or I listen to wrestling podcasts or whatever. But yesterday, 93.7 The Fan, because I didn't pay for my Sirius radio. That's all expired. And then I was listening to those guys in the afternoon talk about George Pickens. And I know I said a little bit off camera, but they were talking about Pickens just being a whole derailment to the Steelers here very, very soon.
In what way?
In a negative kind of way. But I think 93.7 The Fan brings a lot of negativity, which I just think that, look, they're not going to sign him. They're going to use him this year to get us into the playoffs and get us a victory and give us a two-headed weapons as receiver. I know that this is going to be his last year. I am not praying that, George, please sign. It's not going to happen because they're not going to be able to.
I don't know. If they didn't trade him now, they might have a future for him.
I can't see him sticking around, and I don't know how we're going to be able to pay Mr. Watt and somebody else and Pickens. I just, somebody else will give George whatever, and just him getting through this season with all this drama, because it's coming. We're going to have to deal with it on these podcasts. We're going to be talking about it. But also too, if he's putting up numbers and scoring,
So what were they saying there? Let's break it down. What were they saying? Because I think
they're just saying that it's inevitable they're not going to sign him. He's going to be they couldn't get what they wanted for him. And they know that he is going to be, not liking, being a complimentary piece with Metcalf, because
they don't like that.
They don't think he's going to work efficiently.
I don't understand that. If they were to get rid of George, it was going to happen before the draft to get draft picks to sign up and get someone else, right? I don't understand why you would think they would think it's a bad thing to keep him this year. I think they're just trying to make some shit up, because I reckon it's dumb.
I agree. I agree with the fan for once. I've been saying it for weeks. Pickens is it's like a scab that you're picking at. It's eventually going to just get bad. He knows, since they paid Metcalf what they paid him, it's like going and looking up places to eat. And when you look up place to eat, it has it has $1. It has $3 signs. Show you how expensive it is, he thinks he's going to be $4 signs, boom, boom, boom. And that's not going to happen. He thinks he's going to get paid next year. And it doesn't matter how productive he is. They have that contract with DK. He's the second wheel, baby. He's not going to be the prime.
But why wouldn't they move him from him this year? Why would they just have 1 year and let him be a free agent?
They didn't get what they wanted.
They didn't get what they wanted, so they're going to just ride him out. It's like trading a car. You're like, F it, I'll just keep it. And that's exactly what they did with Pickens.
Or it's like dating some old girlfriend. You already know what you got, so you're like, she's gonna whine every time we go out to eat.
So you think that Pickens is gonna have this contract, and they're not gonna be able to pay him enough money? He's gonna walk out of Pittsburgh and go sign for another team?
Me personally, I think we use him as much as we can this year, and some other team is going to pay bigger money than what the Steelers are going to do, and we will get another receiver in the draft next year.
And they filled some holes. I see in the chat. We have depth at, I hate saying we, the Steelers have depth.
No, it's good. You can say we.
The wide receiver position. They did not.
Yeah, much better than last year.
Much better.
Oh yeah, it's an upgrade. I think it's like look, it's an A-.
Yeah,
I think.
I actually think that the Steelers showed more confidence in by not trading him at the draft to look forward to a long-term future than a short-term one, to be honest.
They're not going to
So
sign him.
I disagree with you, fellas. I think they're going to find a way because otherwise you would have got rid of him at the draft. You would have moved on.
I think they wanted a higher draft pick, and I think all they were getting was maybe a 3rd round pick. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what was happening, and there was sources out there that it could have been drafted. Sorry, could have been traded away, and they chose not to.
I just don't see him signing with the Steelers, though. I see us using him as much as we can this year, and get whatever we can, and somebody like a bigger market team, because the Steelers is not a big market team, that will come in and and then we still don't know how they're going to be, in the locker room and how it gels, and if he shows up for practice or he gets upset or
I think sometimes he gets a bit of a bad rap. I think he gets a bit of a bad rap. So did Deontay Johnson. Some of the receivers always, they pretty much have to walk.
Divas.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They get a bit of a bad rap because of diva mentality around receiver. Whereas George Pickens could sneeze the wrong direction and he gets in trouble, right? And I know there was a story out there that he was late for the Christmas game. Apparently that happened. There has been some on-field issues, but nothing like Claypool. And at least that George Pickens, all these things get sorted when he starts winning and starts playing fantastic. Like I said, I watched last night the game against the Bengals, and he was on fire. 195 yards, 2 TDs versus the Bengals to win. So I think actually the flip side, I think the Steelers will be working something out to give him a contract over the next 3 or 4 years, and then it'll be him and DK be 1 and 2. Yeah, now, they in the locker room, can they work together? Right? We'll soon find out. But we're all judging this off like past experience of like what we think that George has done or what he's like or whatever. I just feel like the Steelers would have moved on from him if they knew he was a problem this year.
But you already know what you're getting. You already know what you're getting for this season with Pickens than you would with any other rookie that you would have drafted. So you already know. We already know what we're getting with him. So let's use him as much as we can. We'll try to tell the world that we're going to give him something when his contract. But there is I don't think the Steelers can afford him after this. There's no way they can afford him because if he has an 8 to 12 touchdown reception, there's no way they can afford him, Mark. They just can't. Somebody else will just.
I don't know. The Bengals have gone that route though. Bengals have gone that route for getting.
But then they don't have anybody on defense because they didn't sign anybody.
Mm.
And we have to sign.
I'm not the biggest. Like I don't know how the numbers work out completely, right? But they always seem to find a way. Omar Khan finds a way. I just more look at what the team is doing in terms of, if they would have got rid of him by now, it would have been a thing because his contract runs out next year. I think it's a wait and see thing. I don't think he's walking at the door. It's not like Najee. Najee was pretty much walking at the door to another team, and they were keeping Warren. I think even though you didn't want that to happen, I think that was the consensus that was going to happen. This could be the similar thing where Pickens is walking at the door and plays for the Chargers next year, right? Because Steelers can't keep him. I hope they decide for his future and he can stay.
It'll be an interesting year.
Well, it seems like with the receivers at the moment, they haven't had someone do back-to-back contracts since Deontay Johnson. And I think he was the first one.
Pay him that much.
Yeah, he was the first. Let Juju go.
Boys. I'm looking here on the interwebs, and there's 5 articles that popped up, and it said, all 5 of these that I'm seeing. One's the fan side on MSN. Athlon Sports, Penn Live, Yahoo Sports, A to Z Sports on MSN, and Yardbarker. They all are saying, I'll read the titles. Steelers could trade George Pickens very soon, according to new reports. That's up 2 hours ago. A day ago, George Pickens' future remains uncertain after new insider report surfaces. Pickens could be gone before 2026. Things are not going well, it says. And the fact that they signed Robert Woods, a couple weeks ago, it's kind of pointing to that where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, I get that, but I think we've had this conversation 3 times now because there's been a few smoke and then it fizzles out, right? Yeah. So, and obviously the media is going to always bring it back up, but I do agree with that point. The receiver room is now stacked in terms of depth. Like they got DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Ben Skowronek, Scotty Miller, and Robert Woods. They have like 7 receivers. Now, Steelers normally take in 6. So who's the odd man out?
One of the Skowronek or Miller.
You think that Woods takes it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe his veteran. He's a vet. He you know what I mean. He could get some clutch catches. Plus, he has experience winning. He's a Super Bowl champ too, and he had some good games in his career.
I think if they're going to go with anything, they probably would cut Scotty Miller and keep those 6. Because I think Skowronek's going to play teams. I think he played a fantastic role in teams last year. Ali says Miller. Yeah. Gene says you're not going to trade Pickens for an equal QB this year. So it could also be a trade target at the trade deadline. You know, that's what Steelers could be holding that Pickens at bay, have a good first half season.
He could also be leveraged to trade up next year in the draft.
Could do. But I don't know if he goes, once he's after the season, though, he's a free agent.
But also, too, some other team might give something when that trade deadline because maybe they need a receiver, you know, or their star receiver's out, and they're going to throw all the cash chips and try to.
Yeah, that's probably the better idea if it were to happen. Being a Omar Khan, I think that
has to be a good sweet deal though. So sweet, like chocolate sweet.
For 2 second rounds or whatever it is, right?
Something good.
Steelers going okay on receiver. If they lose Pickens, they can fill the void maybe with someone who steps up, possibly, right? And then they go and trade for a team that needs a receiver that year. Midway trade. It could be a big possibility. I just don't understand why they would play the contract out to death and say, "See you, mate, bye," and not get anything out of it. You know, that's what I have a problem with.
Maybe what they're getting out of it is trying to get us into the playoffs and win us a game with what the receiving core we got. One last
but what I'm saying, okay, yeah, I get you. So one final hurrah with Pickens on this contract.
Yeah, and maybe try to, like you said, maybe try to work a deal out. If he's a team player and he's not crying because he's not getting his fair share of the balls. We don't know yet until we actually see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's a good point for Jeans. I still haven't seen Roman Wilson yet as well. That's a good point. All right, Shana, you got any other news that you've come around your neck of the woods in Pittsburgh or near Pittsburgh?
Well,
that's been
you say, and I've heard the sand go both ways. That, but you know, people have been pretty high on Robert Woods, and it is a crowded receiver room, and we'll have to see exactly what flushes. No pun intended, but
I thought they were going to get Tyler Lockett. I wanted to get Tyler Lockett. That's who I wanted.
Yeah. But you know, it's I really, honestly, my superpower is just knowing people.
What is that? Your superpower?
That's my superpower. I can read people, and I just know Pickens is not gonna. It's not gonna go well as the season progresses. It's just there's just not enough love to go around. I mean, it's just he's gonna feel left out. He's gonna think he's owed money. You got to get rid of him, guys.
He won't be the number one guy. DK Metcalf will be the number one guy.
Right. So,
all right. So I want to get into some other things too. I want to get your guys' take on this as well. Did we do rookie numbers yet? Did you guys look at the rookie numbers?
No, but I've seen them. I like them.
Yeah, let's look at them. I thought they're pretty cool.
Yeah,
so here are the rookie numbers. Howard gets 18. So Johnson gets 20. I did like the one that outside linebacker gets 33 because that's his Ohio State number. Kent gets 34. Bruner gets 44. 78 Black. 99 Harmon. Which one, Bubba, stands at the most? If you had like money in the bag and you could buy, a gold jersey, which one are you getting? Which one are you getting?
Well, it could be the tie between Sawyer and Harmon because the 33 to me is like Merrill Hodge, and you don't see a linebacker with running back numbers like that. So. And then the 99, the number one pick, but also too, Will Howard. I mean, all those numbers are good. I mean, 78 is like an offensive lineman number.
Yeah.
I think he should have been like a 90 or something.
And 34 seems really high for a corner. 34 reminds me of Mendenhall for the running back. Seems high, but it seems like 34 to me seems like a number where he's going to get cut because it's a safety number or high for a corner. That's just my opinion. 44 is I don't know if Tyler Matakevich still there.
You like those double numbers though, 44 and 55.
Yeah, 44 looks like you get hit hard on a 44 and 88, and then you do a
77. I always like 77 was my high school number.
I think that's Broderick Jones.
Wasn't Mark Malone number 18?
No, Malone was 16.
Who was number 18?
I believe it was Mike Tomczak and Dante Johnson. I think Tomczak is quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm going way back because I was watching a video of a guy who was given, the recent players that had these numbers, and he was like, "Oh, number 20, was Cam Sutton." I'm like, dude, number 20 in Steeler history is Rocky goddamn Blyer.
Rocky
Know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Joe Devil says here 34 is Veron Haynes. I used to love using
he used to play pretty good too.
He was a solid running back.
See Caleb Johnson in the backfield with 20 just kind of gives you that, think about Rocky Blyer and movie.
It's a big number. It's a big number. He's a big dude. He's 6'2" or something, isn't he? 6'1".
What's the name of the movie that Rocky Blyer was in where he like fighting back, where he's running up the stadium, running up the outside of Three Rivers.
Oh yeah, George. Yeah, you're right. Dwight White's number was 78. Oh my God.
Dwight White.
Dyslexic.
Any favorite, Shane, that you'd probably buy and purchase and you'd go to Heinz Field with and wear proudly?
I won't wear another man's name on my back. I'm stealing that from my kid. But I think I would like to get one made put on the wall if they're good. But I'm cheap. Someone has to be here for more than a freaking 3 years,
it does feel like that.
Like TJ's been here a minute, Paul Malo's, played here for forever and a day, so those are numbers I don't mind.
You know what's funny, and I heard this again today.
Yeah.
And I heard this on sports radio that the Giants rookie from Penn State, he wants Lawrence Taylor's number.
Right.
So how could none of these rookies that coming in could actually? I mean, there's some Steelers numbers that you just don't even try to get.
Yeah, but I mean, would you now if LT's not alive anymore?
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah.
He's still alive and shit. He should just give him a phone call. Say, hey man, can I rock your jersey?
No, you cannot. That'd be like one of these guys, these Steeler guys, like Will Howard's. Like, I want number 12's number. You know what I mean? You can't give him. You can't give him Bradshaw's number.
This is where I disagree because I feel like at some stage we're going to run out, and you create all these storylines for players. You can't wear 12, can't wear 43. What about in 10 years' time? You can't wear 18, can't wear 20, can't wear 33. There's fucking none left. The NFL and I think franchise got to realize that you can't retire every fucking jersey number.
Well, that's why you don't retire every. But then,
but they do though. You're not going to see 86. You're not going to see 7 get worn. You're not going to see 43 get worn.
They didn't retire them. They just can't. They just won't give them out.
But it doesn't matter. You won't see them get worn. It doesn't happen.
I know his number's retired. But you could unretire if the guy says, "Hey, go ahead and give this kid the number." You can unretire it. There's been cases where you unretire a number. I can't think of one. I'll look it up.
Yeah, but these things rarely happen where they're going to wear 43, even though it's not retired. It just doesn't happen.
And I think nowadays, coming out of college, a lot of those numbers they can keep their college numbers where they couldn't back in the day. You know what I mean? Because Sawyer couldn't. I just think there's too much. There's too much importance on keeping a number just for one player. The minute someone wears a number, we compare that person to how they play, and it's like they're a complete different person. If Will Howard were to wear number 7, they'd be like, "Oh my goodness, Mini Big Ben, you better go and bloody play like Big Ben did." It's just crazy to me. But we're gonna run out eventually.
Well, I talked about unretiring numbers. I knew that it happened before. It's happened 15 times. I only thought it happened a handful.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Peyton Manning, the Broncos number 18. It was Frank Trepruka or whatever his name is, but he was he had number 18. It was unretired, so Peyton Manning could rock it. And Gary Carter is number 8. The Montreal Expos, unretired it, so other guys could wear it. Steve Largent's number was unretired, so Jerry Rice could wear it. So it does happen.
Jerry Rice.
What about TJ Watt? TJ Watt retires in 7 years' time. Yeah. Will they get someone to wear number 90?
I don't know.
If he retires a Steeler, probably not.
No, but that's my point. About Steve Largent, it was Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice wanted number 80 when he signed with Seattle in 2004.
I didn't know. Oh my God, I didn't know he signed. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
That was a situation where they called him up and said, "Hey, listen." So I know it's happened, but I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. John Riggins. John Riggins, another guy. That they unretired his number for a few people to come in, but Michael Jordan once again. So
I just think soon they'll eventually run out. I want to give a big shout out to Joey says here, can you please give a shout out to my great grandma, Judy? She's 86 and watching the show. Oh, g'day, Judy. What's going on? How are you? Big Steeler fan, Judy. That's 86. Awesome.
That is 86. Awesome.
Yep. Well, that number's retired too. Or no, that 86 is Hines Ward. But shelf. You never see it. It's on the shelf collecting dust. Oh, you know why then? Because the minute you see someone wearing 43, the Yinzers would be like, "Oh, you can't. That's Troy's number." It's like, I get it, but they're running out.
Well, I mean,
yeah, exactly right.
The only number right now that could go on to not wear list if he retires his whole career with the Steelers is 90 added to that list, like 7, 86. I think 88.
Well, there's 58 and 59.
That's Lambert and Ham.
Yeah, that's never getting worn again. That's what I'm saying. Like there's things that are like I'm retired. But eventually,
you never seen players like that ever. And those players,
100%. It's for the legacy of the game. 100%. That's for sure. So, but I think eventually, when you have so many good players the Steelers have, at some time they're going to run out of numbers to go. But my favorite out of all these, I do like that Howard gets to keep his Ohio State number 18, and Sawyer wearing 33 is the outside linebacker. That's kind of cool to see that happen as well. I think those are my two favorite. Plus the Harmon in his story, 99 looks fantastic because 99 on a big dude. It's like look out, dude. It's all over.
Wasn't Kiesel 99?
Yeah. Kiesel was 99. Shoot a bid. Like he was like big dude, and he was running. He took the pick 6 all the way in the Bucks game to the end. And like those kind of numbers, like the double digits, 99, 33, 44, they just seem like they're going to hit harder than other players. I don't know why, but definitely are. Fellas, other news I want to get into today was talking about this gem of a person, just for a quick minute.
Wait, he got hired where I work at. He just got hired today. Oh, that's so good.
The story around him is there's 16 ladies, 8 spars. I don't know if he did or didn't do it, right? And we all know he shouldn't do those things. We know that.
Right.
But will he ever play again in the NFL? I don't think he will. I think he's done.
I just think his leg he wasn't getting very accurate, and he just started getting worse.
Really bad the last 2 years. Yeah. Really bad.
Somebody might take a chance on him, but why would you want the headaches? They took a chance on Watson, the quarterback in Cleveland.
Yeah, and that didn't work out.
No,
that was probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done. And that's
just make sure your personal trainer has an accent.
Yeah, so he's in a little trouble, right? And the Ravens came out and said it was a football decision, which means like it was nothing to do with anything else, right? Mm-hmm. I saw some podcasters and some other people on the internet were saying it's an end of an era for this guy. So the guy did some really bad stuff apparently. Like you got to talk about that as well. You can't just talk about his legacy as a kicker. Like he's now got the highest percentage, which is 89%. Boswell's got 88%. He's like 4th highest in the NFL. Boswell's never done any of this stuff. Boswell just looks like a character. He's a family man. Probably goes home, plays the Sony, and then probably has time with his kids, and then goes to work. This guy's doing all crazy things, and he's getting cut from the NFL. and the Ravens went and drafted a kicker and also got another one going to training camp. And I hope the Ravens struggle now because he was really part of their offense. Lamar Jackson goes down the field and gets him to the 35, 40, bang, 3 points. Like he was their offense for like many years. So you can always get 3 points from.
Well, now maybe Boswell will get more respect besides us Steeler fans.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll get more respect in the NFL because it was always throwing Tucker's name out there for many, many years.
Gene hit the hard one there. Gene's comment.
This one, the pizza one?
Oh my God. No, the other one.
Jameson, sorry.
I can't find it.
All that lotion?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know because the Steelers always, Chris Boswell is probably the best kicker in the NFL, right? Even when Tucker was there last 2 years, he was. Mm-hmm. But Tucker is that name that NFL fans that watch it half a year or media fans that are half on their phone and half looking up at the TV, talking nonsense. They always say Tucker's name because he's the better kicker, but he's really not.
Announcers from CBS and Fox and you know what I mean, and Monday Night Football. Oh, Justin Tucker is automatic, and he's one of the greatest kickers.
Right, so you guys see it too, and you guys live closer than I do. You guys see all that shit all the time. It's always like Tucker.
Yeah.
Right now he's out of it, and you're right. Who's going to be that guy to be the kicker? I don't think it will be Chris Boswell. They'll choose someone else. They don't like Chris Boswell because he's too normal.
Because he's a Steeler, and Steelers don't make mainstream sports media because it's just even when we play good and we're like going for Super Bowls, we do not get a lot of press.
Bubba, I was out of state in 2008 or 9, that season that they won last.
Okay.
And they got love in Georgia. Like people are talking about the Steelers. Now, I think they get shit on now, but my God, Steelers, they're fans everywhere, but they've just been getting shit on lately. And
well, fans, but you never see the Steelers love from ESPN true. on any type of media. Yeah.
Yeah, but if
it's almost like it's worn out because we had so much success in the early 70s with the Lombardis and even the last 2 Super Bowls, a big band of our defenses. It's kind of worn out to a bit. They don't like it that much,
Brian Brown, that's a funny one, buddy.
You guys are hanging out talking football. There you go.
Rub his tummy and just looking at you.
Was he married though? Was Tucker married?
I don't know, but my question is
married. I mean, his wife is he's probably going to go through a divorce. He lost his job. You know what I mean?
I don't think he was, to be honest. But why are you going to 7 or 8 different places? And that's a lot of
because you got a problem. You have a it's an addiction.
Yeah, he is married.
That's a lot of ladies to not be.
Yeah.
Oh, his wife is probably like, oh man, and she might have already known stuff was going on, and now it's come out.
Another thought too is Mike's is here for Mike Green. Apparently, he did some bad things too. The college guy, the defensive end, he was. I don't know what the story is around him.
You know who else got arrested in Pittsburgh?
Devin Bush.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know.
It is wild. Bruno says the Bulls is the most accurate kick in the NFL. If Tucker's gone, yes, I think he is at the moment. He's 88% He's 4th all time for Boswell, and Justin Tucker was 1st all time, 89%. The only thing is, he holds that now because he won't play ever again, being 89%, right, for Tucker. If Tucker goes to the Cardinals or the Browns, right, then he would obviously lose that because he missed so many field goals in the last 2 years, like I think about 12 field goals last few years.
Somebody
he was shot.
Somebody will take a chance on him. Somebody will.
Once he gets through the I guess the 16 women charges and whatnot. That's a lot of women. That's a lot of women to be wrong, to be honest. Like I'm all for being fair and not fair or whatever, but that's a lot of ladies coming out saying you did something wrong.
Yeah, it's not like one. It's like it's a boatload.
Yeah, it's almost a football team.
Yeah.
So there's some crazy things happening with because he's now not the number 1 guy. Chris Boswell, he's looking for a contract not this year, next year. I hope the Steelers sign him too. He'll be now 10 years in the league for Chris Boswell. He's got 1,100 points kicking, so Chris Boswell is the guy. But like you guys are right. Maybe they won't give him the NFL torch to be like, Chris Boswell is automatic, even though he's got the best percentage, I think, for 50 yards field goals out there. So I don't know. I just think that stuff's crazy.
How far away? Because I think you were talking on your show, you were talking about Boswell. How far is he away from Gary Anderson?
He's about 300 or 200 points away. I can double check. For a Pittsburgh Steel, I didn't realize Gary Anderson played pretty much every single team.
Oh,
he played 5 teams and 2,400 points.
We got him for $100 off the waiver wire from the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Chris Boswell, all-time scoring, he has, I think, 1,100. So he has 1,127 points. Oh, yeah, 1,127 points, right? 7.5 average. And I think from memory, I can check it in a minute, that Gary Anderson has about 1,400 for the Steelers. But 2,400 for, like, every team.
Yeah, he was so good. He was so good. I mean, and sometimes that was the only offense we had in the 80s.
From South Africa.
I'm thinking, right, how does one, he must have played, 17, 18 years as a Steeler. I mean, sorry, as in the NFL.
He played with Minnesota. I believe he played at Buffalo because they wavered him, went to the Steelers, and then I think he played in Minnesota. He was in Minnesota for many years too.
So what's this? So Gary Anderson is 1,343 points with the Steelers, and Chris Boswell is 1,127. So he's like what, 100 and something away? Maybe this season, or maybe this season.
He kicked for the Tennessee Titans. I forgot about that. Like first year they were,
Gary Anderson?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
2003, 2004. So here's what Buffalo Bills 1982. Then, like you said, Bob, the Steelers picked him up. He played for 12 years, from 82 to 94 for 82 to 1994 for the Steelers. He went to the Eagles for a year. 95 to 96, 97 he was with the 49ers, the Vikings from 98 to 2002, 2003 and 2004 he's with the Titans.
Well, Mr. Nolan said he never kicked for the Bills, but
I don't think he did. He was just on.
They got him in camp, and he never kicked. He never kicked.
It was off-season practice squad. He was a practice squad guy.
Because I know they wavered him like. Steelers picked him up like off the waiver wire.
Now, here's something you guys don't know. 2-time first-team All-Pro in 85 and 98. Second team in 83. 4 Pro Bowls, 83, 85, 93, and 98. He's the NFL scoring leader in 1998. That year he was. He's an all-decade team for the 80s and an all-decade team for the 90s.
He was good.
Yep.
So he kicked for 23 years. That's crazy, eh?
His extra point percentage rate, he was 820 out of 827 kicks for 99.29% rating.
Okay, Shane, how many points did he score total in all his whole career?
2,434 points.
Wow.
So in 10 years' time, we can talk about Chris Boswell doing that 2,400.
Yeah,
he missed that.
The kickers just kept kicking.
Yeah, he missed that one for the Vikings.
Right.
I think that was Brett. I think that was the Saints, and was it the Saints against the Vikings? I believe.
Wait, Jeddah was to say Bos needs to make 31 field goals straight to beat Tucker's record. I guess with percentage, because he's like to get a better percentage. Now, I did find out too that Chris Boswell needs 216 points to pass Gary Anderson, but I'd probably say the next 2 years he'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm buying his jersey once it happens. I think Chris Boswell is the one I need to get next.
He's tall. I know you're tall. He's tall too. I met him at the gym. I got a picture downstairs with him.
No one gives him credit. You rarely hear the NFL give him credit for being a good kicker, great kicker, for being so consistent, and from 50. They all love this. That was my argument. They all love fucking Tucker. It's great, right? Even those massage therapists love fucking Tucker.
I thought it was,
And then
the Falcons.
Chris Boswell deserves his light in the sun, I think.
Well,
Well, he's
Yeah.
Bubba's MVP all every show of his of every show he did for what, the 2022 season or 2023 season. I can't.
Oh
remember.
yeah, I picked him every game. My MVP was Boz.
Yeah.
MVP Boz was my MVP every game, and everybody's like, "Oh, come on, Bubba." I'm like, "Nope, it's Boz. Nope, it's Boz. It's Boz."
I think he married a girl from IUP too. So did I. So
ooh,
there you go. Marry those girls from IUP.
he's tall, man. He's got to be 6. He's got to be 6. I know Mark's tall, and he's like
I'm 6'1",
he got me
6'2".
by. Yeah, well, you're tall, but he is tall.
Mike says that I get Boz every year in fantasy, and he always in there late round and always kills for me because he gets the 50 yards too, which is like extra points.
Right.
And yeah, Tucker fell off in 2022.
I draft him early. Mike. I think last year I drafted somebody early, and I think it was Boz.
You also drafted who? Oh, you drafted that running back for you, McCaffrey, and he got injured.
Yeah. That was the first pick, first round. It was awesome. Yeah.
In other news, fellas, there's the rumor going around now the Steelers are going to look into a new helmet. Do you think that's going to bring back the gold helmet? Because those were sick back in the day. Those were fantastic. The gold. I'll bring it up with Debo Harrison. Those are unreal.
Yeah,
you heard that rumor?
Go ahead, Bubba.
I just like the black helmets. I like black. I like with a little bit of yellow, but not the whole yellow. So
guys, I agree with Bubba. I'm not a big fan of the yellow helmet. I'm not a big fan
black.
of the yellow.
Really?
I love black with a little bit of yellow. I do love black and gold as a color. I do love black, but I just don't like a whole yellow. And I don't like a whole yellow truck either. It looked like a canary.
There was a college team, I think it was Illinois last year, had a helmet that was painted to look like a leather helmet. And it looked pretty damn cool. I think I would like that. And then the 1933 uniform where the pants look like they're like brown leather. And I don't know. I just don't dig a gold helmet. I'm sorry. I do love, like Darwin said, I love the block numbers. That's something you bring back for a couple games, like you did the 70s type of uni. But
all right, here it is. What I think they're going to probably bring back or something similar. It's this style.
I don't like that at all.
You don't like the gold, dude?
No,
I like it, man.
That's all. I'm like Bubba. I'm old school. I just like the Steelers have such a nostalgic, like they're always retro. They're retro. Retro was cool.
There was one year though that this was a throwback to like the.
I don't like that color of yellow. Yellow looks too. It doesn't look gold. If you could put it back up on the screen for a second.
But there was also a year, and in the chat, let me know. I think it
doesn't look gold to me.
It needs to be more.
It looks like mustard yellow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm crazy.
James Debo Harrison body hit him hard, mate, in this one when he was wearing the color rush with this gold uniform or the gold helmet. He was on fucking fire.
I tell you what, I think the Bumblebees are a cool uniform. I'd like to see that maybe. That was something I hated. And now I kind of look back, nostalgia wise, but like Darwin said, Steelers had some good games when he were wearing the Bumblebees,
So there was back in the day though. If you go back into the Steelers history and lore and stuff like that, there was back in the 1970s. I think they wore the gold helmet. I think, or maybe it was the old school like away 60s. Jerseys, the white jerseys with the block numbers. There was some cool stuff back then like that, but yeah, they're apparently bringing back an alternate helmet, and it does look like it's going to be the gold one, because what else would it be?
Hey guys, I gotta bounce. I'll catch you guys later. See you tomorrow, Bubba.
See you, Shane.
Okay, Shane. See you, Shane.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything else, Bubba. But like they're not going to bring out a white helmet. You know what I mean?
No. But it
was the 60s.
Yeah, 60s. It was like Ernie Stautner, and John Henry Jefferson or whatever his name is at receiver. Yeah, but also too in the 60s, when he saw it, you really couldn't see it because back in the 60s the Steelers weren't selling out.
Here it is. Yeah. Darwin's. That's why I love the chat, man. You ask the chat something comes up. because this is what I was talking about as well. Let's get rid of Justin Tucker for a minute. Goodbye, Tucker. Move out of the way.
Tucker.
And then I think it was the 60s. They had the gold helmet. This one here, this bloke.
Yeah.
The white uniforms.
Yeah,
that's old school as shit.
Yeah, that looks better than that kind of yellow's better than that.
You want the
yeah, that looks better.
Old school,
Yeah,
black
like
and
that.
gold.
I don't like that other stuff looks like French's mustard.
Because they wore that, I think, as their away jersey, right? In the 60s. That was like the old school gold helmet.
That's more gold there. And the newer one is more yellow.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm cool with that one.
Well, they might bring that one back though, but I think that when the Steelers did the gold helmet, they were trying to make it look like that.
Yeah, I like that. I just think that other yellow was just too it was like fluorescent yellow or something.
I can't remember. There's a reason why they wore that. I can't remember the reason why they wore that uniform as well. There's some story, but I can't remember. There's some story behind it.
Yeah, it's well, I mean they had a good defense back in the 60s. They just couldn't win ball games. I mean,
he was playing on the Madden, the old school helmet on PS5. Yeah, true. You probably couldn't even see the helmet as on color TV.
Yeah, that's true.
Bubba, do you know anything else from the off-season workouts? Have you been paying attention to teams? Not that they're doing much, but teams turning up. Any other storylines or anything you want to talk about?
No, I just I mean that's all. I try to pay attention, but realistically, I mean the rookie OTAs are coming.
I think next week.
Yeah, I mean you'll see a little bit. I know Will Howard's got the playbook ready. He's been reading it. I think he probably self-taught, self-tested. I mean, he's absorbing stuff like a sponge. I've heard a lot of good stuff about him, and I really like our draft class. So for me, going down to Latrobe, I'll get to see him live, and all the guys, and I'll get to see them on how they do because I'm real curious and real interested because, and people have been asking me how I like it, and I like it because we got almost all the positions that we needed. And we needed some defensive linemen, and we got them, and I'm happy for that. So we just have to.
So right now they're going. There are players who are away, but they're going through the off-season workouts phase 2. They're turning up to the building, doing the weights and that kind of stuff. But yeah, there was a story out there now that Will Howard from Ohio State quarterback that he had called the Steelers and said, "I want to work right now." And they said, "No, just calm down. It's the weekend. Chill. We're not going to give you a playbook just yet." But that's happening next week with the rookies, and I think that's it's a real, I think a bit of fresh air coming into the building right now, right? Like we have a running back, and I think the running back committee. I know you love Najee, but I think it might be better than last year.
But also too, there's still another spot because Cordell Patterson. I just see them cutting him at a certain date, saving some per capita. And I know me and you've talked, and I think you might be on the same page as me. I personally I still see Nick Chubbs as a viable factor, and having that kind of running back for the Steelers would just add more offensive firepower if we could sign him because he's still out there.
And the Browns won't sign him because the Browns have 2 running backs as they drafted, so their plan looks like to be that Nick Chubb isn't coming back to them. If anything, they were to sign him for a vet deal, I'd be happy with that. Like, get rid of Cordell Patterson. His time's up. Thank you, mate. Goodbye. You done your business. But yeah, there's not that could be a possibility. Bring more guys in at that position. The Steelers will go into the camp with other guys like Aaron Shamklin. He's a guy on the practice squad. Those kind of dudes. Can they jump up another level? But it does look like the Steelers are going to run with 3 or 4 running backs. It's going to be Warren, by the way, I'm keeping tabs on Warren too, like just the way how he's from photos and interviews and stuff like that. He was on the Cam Hayward show the other day. He fucking is checked in, bro. I know you love Najee, but he is checked in, and I think he's going to make it his season where he has like 750, 1,000 yards or whatever it is.
He can't get hurt. He can't take
no
for a couple games. He cannot because the durability of Najee was a plus because Najee played every game, and that's a big key and that's something we're missing.
Correct.
But also too with this Johnson, this could be, this Le'Veon Bell kind of Najee prototype running back. I don't know because I never seen him in college, but I have saw some highlights of him running, and I tell you what, I like what I see.
The thing is, I think with Najee and I think a lot of us here in the chat are fans of Najee. I am, but yeah, he takes on the tough yards, right? Whereas now Warren has to do that job as well. So can he start? And then I think he's gotten bigger as well, like more physical. So we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, they're going to use running back by committee, but this is now Warren's season to teach the young bloke how to go. But Najee, I watched even last night in the game versus the Bengals in 2023, just he gets hit by one guy, two guys, and keeps going forward. So Warren is the not as big as Najee, so can he take on that? They're going to load the box with 8 defenders. Can they still run it with Warren?
We'll see. They're bringing. I think they're using that tight end as a fullback, and maybe that fullback will be number 4 in the running back department. So
yeah, there's so many. See, besides all the stupid Aaron Rodgers fucking shit, the Aaron Rodgers stuff is so dumb. There's more football stuff to talk about than damn Aaron Rodgers. Like, if they go with a fullback this year, then what's going to happen with Connor Haywood? And then is it their traditional fullback role? And Arthur Smith, he might like that. Going back to Tennessee, they could go and get Nick Chubb if they wanted to get a better another backup running back too. Did the other bloke there in Iowa, Johnson, and maybe in the chat if they know, did they use a fullback? I don't know. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind that kind of style of football.
Well, power football to me, I know it's not well rounded in 2025 because it's a passing league now. But I mean, look what the Philadelphia Eagles did with Barkley.
I was going to say, Saquon Barkley kind of turned that around too. He was a check down, getting passes and running the football. If you got Mason Rudolph back there, he's really good goes through his progressions and gets to the running back and they say, see you later. So I think we're in a good position. I don't think we're like one of the worst teams. I did the power ranking episode the other day. Some people are ranking us like 30, 25 or whatever it is. I think we're around like 15, 14 on the edge. Like not the greatest team at just yet.
But I mean, the only position that everybody's looking at that we're weak in is the quarterback position.
Correct.
That's the only position that we are not going to get a high grade on. But also too, if he doesn't mess up and he plays smart football, and if he's the number 1 starter, and Mason Rudolph has the experience because he had a playoff game, not a victory. All he's got to do is get us to the dance and then just lead some charges down the field and score. And the biggest thing this year in 2025 is when we get a first possession, we need to score. We you know what I mean? Like we just need to score.
Well, during the Matt Canada days, it never happened. It happened like once in his whole career.
Yeah, one time it happened with him, and he's still bagging groceries at Giant Eagle down on the south side. So
this is now Arthur Smith going into his second year as offensive coordinator, right? So and maybe he's got like a quarterback in Mason Rudolph, which is similar to maybe Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. Maybe the offense can go that way. Run the rock. He definitely wants to. Jamie says, who were the numbers? We'll go through them again because they're kind of fun, dude. It's kind of fun. We're getting through then Bubba's going to camp soon. Like want to, late Trove in like 2 months. Rookie numbers. Howard got his 18 from Ohio State. Johnson wearing that big number 20, which was which used to be Peterson's number. And wasn't that like Rocky Bly's number?
Rocky Bly's, yeah.
Yeah. Number 20. Sawyer was 33, which is kind of odd to me because that's like a running back number / safety maybe cornerback, but outside linebacker 33. Kent gets 34. Reminds me of Mendenhall, that number when he was running. Bruner gets 44. And the other blokes, YA Black 78 and Derek Harmon 99. So those are the numbers for the rookies. And of course, there are other numbers.
I can't wait. I'm excited. Hey? I mean, this is
this is the fun part.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff that we can be excited about now. I mean, even this soap opera bullshit with this quarterback, like it's outside of my house. It's not getting in. So I'm okay with Mason Rudolph, and I've told everybody I'm okay with that.
Tell you what, Dave, look up some highlights, even from Tennessee last year. Tennessee were a bad football team, and their defense sucked because they were letting so many different points in. And Rudolph played okay. He did throw some interceptions.
Just got to get the keys to the car. He's never had.
He's got a big arm though, dude. Like I watched the highlights for Tennessee last night in the game.
Arm.
He got a strong arm. Like he can throw this football over the middle, zing it in. He's a quarterback. It's just that what with Mason Rudolph is the NFL doesn't like his story. He's too vanilla, too plain, too boring. But now he's got the fucking goatee, and now he's going to go off.
Well,
now
when
he
you got a
business.
goatee, man, it makes you it gives you power. It's like Samson.
I saw in the comments too. It was like all the ladies in he did like an interview downtown, and all the ladies are just as bad as men. Like in the comments, like, "Oh, can I take you home?" and stuff like that.
Oh,
they're incredible. They're like, "Oh my god."
He's going to be 30 going into camp. Like he's going to turn 30. So I mean,
he's been playing the league 7 years. Like this could be the guy that we have for the next 2 years.
He has a winning record with the Steelers as a Steeler quarterback. He's like 8-4. You know,
yeah,
8-4-1, and I was there. I was there in that game where he tied the Lions. Lions tied us, and it wasn't his fault. Freiermuth fumbled the ball.
Yep,
and Dante, I believe, fumbled the ball or something like that. It wasn't Mason's fault. And then they called back Najee running a touchdown, and they called it back. You know, so
I just hope that he gets delivered. He can be QB1 and there is no drama. Here's a playbook. By the way, your QB1, Mason's our guy.
If he's QB1 right now, and I'll say this on our show, if he's QB1 for the whole season, I'm telling you, that's comeback player of the year. Comeback player of the year.
Yeah, dead set. Because he looks to be like people are saying it's like the Geno Smith route or Sam Darnold route, right? You're finally getting the reps. And that's why I think sometimes they start quarterbacks too early. Way too early.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
But I just hope he gets a go. Because I've been watching his highlights and I think he's been a better player than he has been from his rookie days and getting the helmet swings and getting punched up and stuff like that.
It's a good story. It's a redemption story because the last time when you say, Rudolph saved Christmas, when you say this a couple times on the shows, that was a good redemption story, but it wasn't the end of the story. So him being a starter for the whole season is a good ending to the story.
My allergies are playing up.
Oh, that's okay. Well, God bless you.
Sometimes my nose just starts running for no reason, like a fridge, mate.
Well, stops. If you sneeze 3 times, you could play the Powerball. I don't know if you guys have the Powerball in Australia.
I've tried it, but I've never won. Never won at all.
No,
I think the longer it goes on, and I see that he's turning up off-season workouts, not OTAs. I think that's a different one, right? Anyways, organized off-season workouts. He's with the building. He's with the team. I feel like it's his time to be like QB1. I just feel like that might be the answer.
Well, that's why I don't want this added drama of somebody else strolling into town. You know what I mean? And we don't need that. Like, just let. We already know.
What does Pittsburgh feel? What is the city of Pittsburgh and where you're from? Are they all saying
nobody wants him.
Mason Rudolph?
Nobody wants him, and some people are just people I've talked to. They're like, Bubba, I'm okay with Mason Rudolph and just go with that. And not have the drama. But then you got other people who are like, Aaron Rodgers got a stronger arm and blah, 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 blah.
I don't think he does, though.
But I just don't see him putting the Steelers out there for this long has made it sour to me. Like, if it had been like 3.5 months ago and he was like, look, I'm coming in, me and Palma talked, here it is. 3 months ago, he was a Steeler 3 months ago. Aaron Rodgers, we wouldn't be talking about this. They'd signed Mason Rudolph as their backup. They still got Will Howard. There's your third or fourth quarterback with Skylar. I think he could beat out Skylar Thompson, and I think Will is going to.
Here are the stats for Mason Rudolph over his time as a starter. 5 years as a starter. I think he's been in the league. So he was drafted with us in the 3rd round in 2018, right? And then it says here on the Pro Football Reference, he has a 9-8-1 record, winning record so far, 4,615 yards, 28 TDs, and 20 interceptions. So he's above that already. But the big thing for me is, and I know you agree, is can he have an offseason where he's a QB1 that goes into week 1? We've never seen that.
No.
And that would be the right time to do it now with Will Howard behind him. Go and get a quarterback, Carson Wentz or whoever, some other Smo Joe, some guy to be QB 2 or 3. Mason takes the reins. Aaron Rodgers fucks off, and there's no.
Yeah, because why do we want that drama? Why do we want that drama? You know, and I just, and that's what it's going to be. It'll be drama. But then on the flip side of the coin, if Aaron Rodgers signs and throws for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns, well, then, you know what I mean? It's just, again, yeah, it's a flip of a coin.
But it's like now, it has to happen sooner or later. Like, how long can you keep waiting for it? When Rudolph is in the camp, and if they give him the playbook to be QB1, you don't know, you haven't seen that yet. He played a lot of games at Tennessee Titans. There's a reason why the Steelers brought him back, maybe to be QB2 or like to maybe be QB1. But his stats aren't too bad, and he's got a rocket of an arm. He's 6'5". He can play. I just think the NFL doesn't like his story. You know what I mean? Around him, and he finished the 2023 season 3-0, and in that stretch he had 3 TDs and 0 interceptions and 719 yards with 74% accuracy on the Steelers team. That's not a bad way to end with the Steelers, but we have to find out if he's going to start again.
And he went up to Buffalo, and the day they were supposed to play, there was 3 feet of snow, and then had a shovel the place out, and then it's very hard to play up in Buffalo because we had Buffalo's number in the 90s. Now Buffalo seems to have our number.
That was a tough match anyway. You had Josh Allen, and then they definitely
he threw that pick, but you know what I mean. He was probably running around for his life. I think the offensive line wasn't as sturdy, or the offensive line's a little better on paper now than it was in that playoff game.
But yeah, it all depends though. Yeah, like what the Steelers do now. Like JW says, Rodgers win now, they might sign him for a 1-year, 2-year contract, or Rudolph play for the future, meaning he's the bridge quarterback for the next 2 years, and you get Will Howard ready to play. I would prefer to say QB1 Rudolph, have a crack, and the fan base would rally around him so quickly if he started winning on week 1.
If he beats the Ravens,
yeah, beats the Browns at home week 1 or whatever it is, we'll find it soon as well.
I mean, next week is when we find the schedule.
Yeah, next 14th, I think it is.
Yeah, whatever, 14th or 15th. But yeah, if we go 5-1 or 4-2 in our division, and we do not get swept by any opponents, that'll say a lot. Like we have to go into we got to go play Baltimore like it's the last coming of Jesus Christ, because that playoff loss still is bitter in my mouth.
What they should do as well, we know when I get towards the AFC North round table, when I go on there in August, right? We'll talk about quarterback rankings. Oh no, I'll have to put Mason Rudolph.
Otherwise, they're not even they're gonna laugh at us.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, but they got 5. Like Cleveland got 5 or 6 quarterbacks. Like they ain't got nothing to cheer about, but they're still going to back up. Here's something
interesting too, right? Because I'm working on this now before I get there in 2 months. They can laugh all they want at Mason Rudolph that we have a bad quarterback, but yet the Ravens have a really good quarterback, 3 times Pro Bowler. Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. Hey Bubba, where the fuck's their Super Bowls?
They don't have any.
Right. That's my argument when I go in there. Like you can bag me at all you want for having a Mason Rudolph to be a backup and not the guy. Where are your Super Bowls?
Can win the big game. Mason Rudolph never got to the big game. Okay, that's our.
But there should be pressure on the Ravens. Lamar Jackson being now 6 years in the league or whatever it is. There should be pressure on Joe Burrow for being the best quarterback, all these weapons, and still have
one. If they don't win the Super Bowl here this year or next year, I'll give him 3 years. Lamar Jackson's career will be just regular season superstar.
But what does that say? What does that say about that because when time comes, we're going to rate the quarterbacks, and I'll go probably Jackson, Burrow, whoever the Browns quarterback is, and I'll go Mason Rudolph. I might swap them around.
Mason Rudolph could probably be better than the Browns.
Yeah, he'll be third.
It's definitely.
Yeah, he'll be third, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when we get to that point, the fellas in the other teams will be like, your quarterback sucks.
Yep.
Or I'll say your quarterback's really good, but you've done nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to me, that's worse. That's worse.
Yep.
Like,
it looks like a sports car a sports car, but the engine is shit. You pull up the hood and there's nothing in the engine.
Well,
Looks good on the outside.
how long's Lamar Jackson been there now? Lamar Jackson,
6 years,
drafted
maybe
2018. So 7 years. So it's the
7 years.
the same draft as
3 more years is
Mason
10
Rudolph.
years. 3 more years is 10 years. He can't
and
be.
Joe Burrow drafted the year after 2019, 2020. So 5 years, right?
And so Lamar Jackson cannot be running around like he has been at that age of being a quarterback. He's going to have to be a pocket passer. There's no way, he's going to be able to run around like he was, this year and the year before, Yeah,
he's 3-5 in the playoffs with Lamar Jackson. So I just think that's an interesting point. Whereas you'll see a lot of fan bases say your quarterback's crap. It's just Rudolph, right? And I'll say, well, yours is really great. Josh Allen's a really great quarterback. Still nothing. Still nothing. We had this with Big Ben. Big Ben was with a great defense, and Big Ben won 2 Super Bowls, did all the stuff. But now it's like you got the Josh Allen and these guys haven't got it done yet. Justin Herbert haven't got it done yet. Trevor Lawrence hasn't got it done yet.
Right.
But whereas the Steelers right now, and this, we're building the team around that, trying to find the quarterback. So I'm excited to do another podcast with them because I know they're going to bag out Rudolph. I know they're going to say it's a bad idea.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to be dodging bullets, and you're going to. But also too, what you're talking about. So,
well, if you've got a great quarterback with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and still have 1-0 yet, then that shows you how hard it is to win the league. And it shows you that you could be wasting generational talent in Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow.
And in 3 years, they would. 3 years, Lamar Jackson and TJ Watt could be comparisons because they're both great, but neither of them have a championship. I mean, because it could go for us, it would be TJ Watt. It wouldn't be the quarterback. It would be TJ Watt, it's sad, but also too, I'm thinking positive anymore in my life. So we just got to get to the dance. And then TJ, like Devil said, he wasn't even in the lineup against the Bills. So
yeah, I was going more this route of quarterback because I know when the rankings come down to where they're going to rank Rudolph the last one, but he's like, he would make sense this year to run with Rudolph and no drama and just play out a quarterback position at that small contract. But I know that the fellas will say something like that, and Ravens fans are, you've got a really shit. Well, you've got a great quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and you've done nothing.
Well, our running game could be like if you rank our running game, it's going to be not last place. Our defense is definitely probably 1 or 2 in our division. The tight ends position with Freiermuth and stuff is probably 1 or 2 in a division. The receivers, besides Cincinnati spending $2 million on theirs with Pickens and DJ Metcalf, right there, it's either 1 or 2 could be tied for receiver. We have all these positions that are in the top.
It's a better team. It's a better team than I think a better
number
team.
1 kicker. We got a number 1 kicker.
Yeah, better team. Well, now that Tucker's out of the question, better team for sure. But I just find this stuff interesting where, with the quarterback is maybe a C grade compared to other ones in our division, right? With Joe Burrow and whoever the Browns play and Lamar Jackson. But all that talk around them being the best at their position and being a Pro Bowl or future Hall of Famer, they've won nothing in terms of Super Bowls. And we haven't either.
Right.
But when they're giving us crap for being a Mason Rudolph supporter or whatever it is, they're in the same boat. They've won nothing. Yeah. So I find that really interesting from that point. DJ Metcalf.
I'm never gonna let that die. I'm never ever. One
George
game
Patterson.
I said one wrong word and oh my.
Oh, alrighty, Bubba. Let's get out of here. But before we go, right? What's one thing you want to see before next week when we do a show? What's one thing you want to see happen? Anything going to happen in a week's time?
No, I don't see this Aaron Rodgers stuff happening. I don't see that. So I just the positive energy of these Steelers going in and learning some stuff and just getting into ready for rookie camp and OTAs and just positive.
Yeah, I think the Steelers rookie camp is next week.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
May 9th. It's like 2 days away or something, like 3 days
Yeah,
away.
it's well, tomorrow's the 7th, so Friday.
Okay.
It's this Friday.
So it must be over the weekend when all the rookies turn up, and also they have like a lot of people who were
People that they invite, guys
Yeah.
from other colleges, and then like the free agents and stuff like that. Like they have one from I think somebody from Slippery Rock coming in. I think Faulkner,
Yeah.
the running backs kids coming is coming to this rookie camp. So
here we are here. So they have man, I've got them all. So they got all the rookies that were drafted. They're the undrafted guys, including the fullback. They have like a million of them. Then they have mini camp invites. So many dudes, receivers, there's quarterbacks here, there's linebackers, there's
looking to sign them to a contract.
Yeah, there's long snappers, there's O linemen, there's all kinds of people. There's so many people.
Maybe they might find another. If they sign another quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, they already have 4. They just need one more.
The only invite they got is minicamp invite is Seth Morgan from New Hampshire, quarterback.
Oh.
So he's going, whoever that bloke is.
Yeah,
that's the only one, and possibly Howard.
This personal issue that Aaron Rodgers has, if that's true that he got married, that was his personal situation that he had in his personal life.
So they're also bringing in a punter. They're bringing in a long snapper.
Why would they bring in a punter? We already have to.
I don't know. Maybe just to see down the line.
Okay.
No.
Well, I think they're going to trade one of those punters, and it's a shame because both of them, even before he got hurt, your fellow countryman before he got hurt was doing really, really good, and then Waitman was just doing. He only had one bad punt all season in that Cleveland game. Other than that, he was spectacular.
Yeah, they got the bloke here too, DJ Thomas Jones, a fullback from South Alabama. He's the one going in there.
That's the one that got $30,000.
Yeah, the most money guaranteed, right? Yeah. The signing. So they've been signed. The other guys were invites. There's like about 20 invites, including the Faulkner's son. He plays safety. Yeah. But this is where it's happening, Bubba. It's all happening now.
I know.
There's no Aaron Rodgers shit. It's fucking happening now.
I mean, I've had people talk to me today about the draft in Pittsburgh, and then I have people like, I'm not even going to Pittsburgh because it's going to be crazy. And I'm like, yes, it is going to be crazy, and it's going to be huge. So
yeah, we're getting ready for the mini camps to see pictures and reporting on that, and then we're getting ready. And you're closer than I am, but we're getting ready to see the fellas turn up for is it the OTAs are next after that? So it goes rookie mini camp from May 9. Then we see
July will be here before you know it, and then at the end of July. I mean, I always celebrate my birthday at the end of July anyway, so I always go to camp. That's my birthday gift to myself. So
yeah, nice. Because then we got OTAs are May 27 to June.
I do want to see Will Howard in a Steeler uniform. I want to see all these rookies. You know what I mean? I've seen TJ Watt, and you know what I mean. I want to see TJ Watt in playoff and game situations. Training camp. Just get out of camp, unscathed. And Cam Hayward and all these, Metcalf, all those guys. Well, see Metcalf as a Steeler too will be something. So, but
yeah, OTA 27th. Yeah, it's exciting times. I have to figure out one year that. Well, this year I'm going for the draft next year, but one year I got to figure out when I come over. I got to come over. Be weird to do, be good to do. Come over for a summer and go to camp. I got to choose. I can't do camp in a game. It's too hard.
Well, you can live in Latrobe. Just live in Latrobe for the summer.
Yeah, do that. Be awesome. All right, Bubba, let's get out of here. Thank you everyone for the chat. That was great. An hour and 20 minutes in, like 20-something people high. Everyone's getting pumped up. I'm really keen for this season. I don't know what I'm going to talk
about tomorrow because, geez, we talked about everything today. I have no idea. Oh my gosh, I'll figure something out.
You always do. It doesn't matter. Just do it again. Yeah, you can do it again.
Well,
Darwin's going too. I'll be at the draft, especially other win the Super Bowl. It'd be fantastic. Getting 30-second pick.
Well,
win a big multi. I hope so.
We're gonna have a big, huge party. We're gonna be doing draft live in Western Pennsylvania. A little bit, not in Pittsburgh because it's gonna be astronomical. because I live a little over an hour away north. I'm in Indiana, Pennsylvania, and Shane, who just left, was in Butler. So we're Shane's looking. He's researching a place for us to have a whole bunch of podcasters so we can do the draft. So we're gonna have something, you know.
Yeah, I think I may have a hotel at the moment. I want to give a big shout out to one of the listeners out there. You know who you are. I don't know if I'm going to say it, but one of the listeners out there reached out to me as well to help me out. So thank you very much to who you know who you are. That's
oh my God, he's in Puerto Rico. Oh my God, hey, we're international.
Yeah, we're everywhere, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll find a way to get a hotel and stuff like that. But it's coming. It's coming. The schedule's coming soon as well.
I'm gonna sleep in my Bronco. That's what I'm doing.
What's that, a van?
I'm gonna sleep my Bronco and then maybe go home, get because it's gonna be crazy. Because 7 hours the podcast that I did last time, I'm good to go now. Like I can go the distance.
We'd have a bar around us too, and like food and stuff too.
Oh,
so
I'll be
have
drinking.
like a good time.
I'll be going the distance. I will be going in that draft party because I didn't break the seal for that whole 7 hours until I was done. Yeah,
but now like we can chop and change people over. It'll be fine. Like I'm looking forward to. I think this year now, he's gonna stay in your backyard.
I gotta mow my grass. It'll be like an island if I don't mow it. The grass will be 6 feet tall and it'll be like a hiki tat or whatever the hell.
We're getting to the point though where Steelers football is around the corner, and these fellas are going. Like I love when the fellas go back to work and they're just like all working out.
We had that bad taste. That Ravens game was a bad taste in our mouth.
Oh yeah.
Like in my mouth, it was. I hate losing.
299 yards, Bubba. 299 yards.
Terrible.
I still got the bad taste in the mouth from that Russell Wilson fumble at the goal line.
Oh.
And also, I went to the game with Gene and then thank you, Gene, for the tickets and that kind of stuff. It was awesome. But that Chiefs game sucked. Like I was like, fun to be there.
That was
we got trampled on.
Yeah, it was a bad Christmas week.
Oh. And also, I think I got a flu over there because remember how the team was talking about that Cameron Hayward had the flu and there was Patrick Queen had the flu. I'm pretty sure something in Pittsburgh was going around.
Oh yeah,
I had a chest cough.
A couple of those floozies that we were hanging out with probably got us all.
Oh, yeah, Mike's has had a bad taste of having Russell Wilson in black and gold. Well, not anymore. He's a giant. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Thank you, Bubba. So check in tomorrow. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Wednesday.
9 p.m. Wednesday. Steeler Dynasty podcast at 377. We're getting there.
There you go. Almost near 400 subs.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Bubba. Thanks everyone in the chat. You'll be there in a heartbeat, dude.
Oh yeah.
You'll be there in a heartbeat. All right. See you guys.
Good night.
I'll see you guys later.
Hey, Rod.
Left the light on. See you later.